everyone. Welcome back. It's Kim from Holland Homes with Exit Realty Premier. I am here today doing a video for you that I have been wanting to do for so many months. This is Patricia Stein from Liberty National Title. How long have we been trying to get together for this video?
It's about a year.
It's been so long because title insurance is so important in the transaction. Running title on a house is so important. So we're going to find out some 5 tips today on what you need to know as a buyer and a seller about title insurance, what it is, have it all explained to you. So let's start out obviously with what is title insurance.
Title insurance is what gives you ownership to the home, and it ensures that you own the home free and clear. So you want to make certain when you're purchasing a home that no liens pop up from any previous owners that might have been missed when the title was being searched, and then when you have ownership, they attach to the property. Title insurance will protect you from that.
So there could be, you could run title and there could, potentially be a cousin or, it could be, some other person somewhere else in another state that has no idea that you're selling the home and then all of a sudden demands rights to the home.
Exactly. So you want some strangers knocking up at the door telling you that they own the home when they don't, and something was missed in the chain of title. So it's so important to make sure that you buy that one-time policy that's paid at the closing table, and it protects you for as long as you own the home.
So can you tell me what exactly Liberty National Title does when you start out working with a buyer or you start out working with a seller?
Sure. We're very unique in the way that we're consumer direct. We communicate directly with the buyer and directly with the seller. The buyer will contact us at accepted offer. We will review the title insurance bill with them and pull a quick title against the home to make sure that there's no issues that could delay them from closing. Same thing with a seller. They contact us when they're going to list the property, so we can make sure that there's no liens against the home that could delay them from selling the property. We advise our realtor clients to make certain before making promises to the seller that they know the title's clear and the house is ready to be sold.
So when I do title, when I get listings, I always run title in the beginning, and I have run title before in the beginning before putting something up on MLS. And I found out for one property, for example, that there was an open permit because they changed from oil to gas, which everything was fine, but the town never came back in to close out the permit. So I didn't want to put up the house with an open permit, and because I ran title before I listed it, my seller was able to close that permit because title insurance doesn't insure for an open permit, correct?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and then as far as buyers are concerned, also very important, upon accepted offer, when you're right there, you're getting ready to do the inspection, we can also run title as well to make sure that, you are finding these problems out now instead of 2.5 months into the deal.
And most sellers are not aware that they have liens against the home. If they refinanced a couple of times, it's important to make sure that the mortgages that were paid off and the refinances are satisfied and removed from the property. If you have red light cameras, tickets, and you don't pay them, they could attach to the property.
Wow.
Any judgments, any creditors that you owe money to and you don't pay them, they can go to the county and file a judgment.
Right.
And the county doesn't always necessarily notify the homeowner that there's a judgment filed against their house.
Right.
So
it'll just come in the mail.
Right.
And you'll say, oh, I have a violation, or I have a lien against my house.
And sometimes it doesn't even come in the mail.
Right.
So that's why we always tell consumers to just be one step ahead and make sure that there's no conditions against the home that can delay you from closing.
So let me actually tell you about another example. I put somebody into a house, and after they closed on the house, they got a letter in the mail, and it was a lien. It was actually against the seller, and it was prior to us closing because the seller had some work done on the house. He only paid half to the company. It was like a home restoration company or something. He only paid half of like a $2,000 bill, and the company put a lien against the house for the other $1,000, but it was in the name of the previous seller. And now it's against the house that my new buyer owns.
Wow. So the new buyer is, I'm assuming, going to file a claim against their title insurance policy, and that's why it's so important to have that. It protects them from that. From that lien.
Okay, cool. So something else that obviously to a buyer is always a little scary is when you get your closing disclosure for the money that's due at the closing table, and you get that big bill. So can you talk to me a little bit about what is actually on the title bill when, and what portion of the closing costs is the title bill?
Yeah, a large portion of the closing costs is the title bill because there's so many ancillary fees that we're responsible for collecting and paying out, such as mortgage tax, which is a big part of the closing costs if they're taking out a mortgage. Any property taxes due within 30 to 60 days of closing.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any school taxes due, we'll be collecting those at the time of closing. We have to pick up for recording fees to record the deed and the mortgage at the county.
So not to interrupt, so basically a lot of the money, a good portion of the money that the buyers are paying as part of these closing costs, it's actually their money that's going back into the house, the property taxes. They're just paying everything up front.
Right, they're paying everything at the closing table, but it's overwhelming for a buyer at the closing table to see the breakdown of the charges, which is why we try to eliminate that anxiety and review the title bill with them at accepted offer, so that they see what title insurance actually costs and all the other fees that are going to be collected in order to, close on that particular home.
All right, so last question is kind of like a two-parter. So first off, is title insurance mandatory? And is there a renewal fee every year, or is it a one-time fee for title insurance? I know the answers to these questions. I just want to make sure that you all know the answers to these questions.
Right, exactly. So to your answer, the answer to question number one is title insurance is optional, but you will not find an attorney in the state of New York to represent you if you don't purchase it. The attorney does not want to take on the liability that if something is missed in the chain of title, the consumer can go after them. So every attorney in the state of New York, I've in the business 20 years, and never once did I have a purchaser not purchase a title insurance fee policy. Okay, there's two policies: the fee policy, which gives you ownership to the home, and the mortgage policy, which is bought for the lender. Because you take out a mortgage, you have to buy the lender a policy to make sure that they have clear title as well.
Okay. And then the renewal?
As to question number two, there is no renewal. The insurance is paid one time at the closing table, and you hold on to the insurance for as long as you own the home.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that we finally got together to make this video. So happy.
Me too.
This
Thank
is
you.
Patricia, the owner of Liberty National Title in Melville. I will give all the information about where she is and her address in the comments below. And I'm Kim Holland from Holland Homes with Exit Realty Premier. If you like what you've seen today, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the alerts notification button so that every time we have a new video, you do not miss it, especially if you're looking to buy or sell a home. Comment below if you have any other questions for myself or Patricia, and I look forward to seeing you soon.